Yeah, with that, I think we're good to get started. Hello, everybody. It's me. It's Jacob. I'm back. I'm playing Blue Red. All is well with the world. So, there is a list that came in fifth at a challenge recently that was playing three copies of Three Steps Ahead. It was a Blue Red list. Um, doing the is it package with like Flame of Anor and all that good stuff. Um, but it's running three copies and Three Steps Ahead because this does like a good Archmage's Charm impression, right? You can counter something, you can draw two, discard a card, which is not as good as just drawing two straight up unless you really want Fuel Murktide Regent. Or you can create a token that is a copy of target artifact or creature you control. So you can copy Subtlety, Tidebinder. Probably don't want to copy Snapcaster Mage, but maybe there's circumstances where you do. Probably don't want to copy Murktide, but you can, is the thing. And because it's got Spree, you can do like more of these. So unlike with Archmage's Charm, where you only have to pick one, if you just have a Jamillion mana, this is like a pretty good top deck, all things considered. Especially if you have like a single creature on board to copy, because then you just get more threats, which is cool. And it's a cancel in the meantime. So, long line of the cancel with upside type cards, and we're going to be seeing one of those in Modern Horizons that looks pretty good. Hello, Pukani. Happy to have you here. And yeah, for those of you that know about the cancel with upside that's being printed in Modern Horizons, it's either going to be complete garbage or one of the most powerful cards in the set. And there's like absolutely no middle ground, and I'm super excited to play it. But we have a while to wait until we can do that. So we're just shaking off the rust because I've been out of the game for a bit, and we're just going forth with Blue Red Wizards because Flame of Anor, one of the best 2-for-1s in the format. I love this card. It's so good. It makes Electrolyze look like Burst Lightning. It's delicious. So you really want to run Wizards to facilitate this. Tidebinder, basically a better Snapcaster Mage. It's got better stats. It always is a stifle and doesn't die to graveyard hate. You still got the two Snapcaster mages. This is a fine compromise for me. Going from two Snapcaster mages from zero, like it has been, totally on board with that. You got two Murktide Regents because you do just need to kill them. And I wish we could, go back to having our blue red control decks with combo finishes, but Murktide is basically our combo finisher, even though it dies to removal, Sadness Station. And you got Force Subtlety, so you don't get scammed on turn one. Because this is the thing that happens now in Modern, is they go, Grief, not dead after all, Grief you again, rip apart your hand, have fun top decking. Um, no expressive iteration in this list, which makes me so happy. I hate that card. I hate playing it in my control decks. I hate tapping out. This one seems a lot more instant speed centered with the Three Steps Ahead, which is cool. No idea if this card's actually going to be good, but that's why we're doing this, because we want to see how good our cancels with upside can be. Two Flame Slashes to kill things at sorcery speed, which is kind of iffy, but I guess the person who made this was trying it over on Holy Heat, which I can see. This does have some utility, kills Dryad pretty easy. Um, can't kill it at instant speed though. I don't know. I'm not a believer of Flame Slash. We'll see how it goes. And the two dress down because we're not running Blood Moon in the main, and we need a way to deal with Urza Saga tokens. And also, just like Tidebinder, this card's just funny to play in response to your opponent doing literally anything. Be like, haha, you thought that creature would do the thing, but actually, it is a nerd who has no abilities. Take that. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So, and I think that is just about everything that we can really say about this. Sideboard's pretty standard. We have another Tidebinder in the side for the matchups where we really want 4. Stern Scolding, because fuck you, Yawgmoth. A Null to counter the One Ring, Leyline Binding, stuff like that, because Leyline Binding's the best answer to Murktide. Blood Moon in the sideboard. It's Blood Moon. You know why it's good. Um, Chalice of the Void, I guess this is like our anti-Cascade card, which this is probably just going to be Vexing Bauble once Modern Horizons 3 comes out. And these annuls are probably going to be the new Ceremonious Rejection. Brotherhood's End will probably just be Meltdown. And Blood Moon might be the new Merfolk. It's going to require some finagling with the mana base. You know, gotta have a mountain in there. Maybe this Mutavault will be a mountain, although this is a wizard. So that way we can, like, not get completely screwed over out of our removal spells or our Flame of Anors. But this might be the Merfolk. I don't know. Definitely want to try invert polarity over the 3 steps ahead, though. And definitely some number of Tamiyo. The new Tamiyo, because it's a wizard! Wow! That is insane, because you can Flame of Anor and then immediately flip it. If they have something to kill, which this is modern, they're going to have something to kill. So, enough me gushing over how cool this list looks. Let's just get right in there and lose to Grief Scam. I am really feeling it. This is going to be good. Can everyone hear me okay? Any technical issues? This is a new setup, so I am open to feedback. I'd be open to feedback even if it wasn't a new setup, but you get the point. Let me read this card. Counter target spell. Looks okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature I control. Okay. So I can't copy my opponent's stuff. That's fine, because even being able to be like, haha, I have a subtlety out, and here's another subtlety. Seems good. We're going first. We got the counterspell. We got Preordain. I'm going to keep this going in blind. No removal or threats, but that's fine. We can find this with Preordain. Play my Book Island. Preordain. Definitely want land. I'm going to go Flame Slash on top, and then Mutavault, just in case they Grief Scam. That way they're like, haha, I have ripped your hand apart, and you don't have removal. And then we could just Flame Slash. Ancient Stirring. So this tells me it's either Tron or Hardened Scales. Crag Crown Pathway. So it is Hardened Scales. So the name of the game here is make sure none of their shit resolves. That is the name of the game here. Because if it resolves, we are in a bad spot. Patchwork Automaton. No thank you, because we would have to Flame Slash that on our turn, which would open us up to what they really want to play. Because I guarantee this is just bait to get out the counter spell. And there's Flame of Anor. That's our best card in the matchup. So, things we can do. If they play something that we don't want to counter, we can Lorien Revealed to get a land. Zabaz, that is fine. We can Flame Slash that. Walking Ballista. Do I actually want to counter that? That's the thing. I think I do. Maybe. Because they can, like... I could leave Zabaz around. Just Flame Slash this. Nah, I'm gonna make the most of my mana. Let's counter it. And unlike Archmage's Charm, this card's a lot better with Mutavault, because we don't need triple blue. It's doing a good Archmage's Charm impression here. And if we draw a land, we can animate Mutavault, Flame of Anor, draw 2 cards, which is funny. But we didn't draw a land, so let's go Island Cycle. Gonna get an island here. Gonna Flame Slash Zabaz. And we are off to the races with Murktide Regent. Now, this is hardened scales, so depending on how the rest of their hand looks, we still might be in some trouble, right? But we have this 8/8, and they don't run a lot of removal, so this could work out well. I think we sequence that excellently. And the Murktide, of course, naturally a good draw. Okay, let's see what they got. Could be Hangerback Walker. That's fine. We're not going to kill that because we can just fly over that. But I think they're trying to generate some tokens so that they can block Murktide Regent. So we just have to, like, not allow that to happen. Spell Pierce seems not the best, honestly, because they don't have hardened scales out or anything like that. They have the Inkmoth Nexus, which, of note, can block Murktide Regent. They're probably going to play Arcbound Ravager here. That's, like, the easiest way that we lose. But they don't have hardened scales out yet, is the thing. They're trying to bait out, like, subtlety, right? Because they think we have subtlety. Can't do anything about that. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So they got Walking Ballista. This is tricky. We could destroy Arcbound Ravager. I'm gonna Spell Pierce this. It is too good. It is far too good against us right now. Like, I was thinking we could, like, let it resolve, but there's just, like, no interaction window for that, right? There just isn't one. We just Spell Pierce this. We try our best with the Hangerback Walker nonsense. And I don't think we Flame of Anor anything here either. Because if we Flame of Anor, that just, like, gives them the opportunity to kind of, like, stack the deck in their favor. Now I think because they're gonna sack this to make Thopters, right? And if we do that, they sack it, they put a counter on Arcbound Ravager. They make a Thopter to block, then we swing. Arcbound has 2 counters on it. 3 if they want. No, they have 3 because they block, then sack. So 3 counters on that, and we'd be tapped out. And then they just put it on Inkmoth Nexus and then slowly kill us. Yeah, I don't think we do anything there. I wish we had another red source. I'm gonna do this here just so that they have to sack. And then I'm gonna animate Mutavault. Gonna kill this. And draw 2. And we are tapped out here, unfortunately, and they do get 2 Thopters, but now they can't, like, put the Arcbound Ravager counters on anything. So, like, our interaction, the whole reason Hardened Scales is good is because their interaction windows are ridiculously small. And if you fuck up, you just lose the game, right? So that's like the whole reason to play this deck is it's powerful and its interaction windows are very small. It's basically like a worse version of Yawgmoth. And I'm just gonna fetch, get a Steam Vents here, put the Fear of God in them, make him play worse. That is definitely worth the 3 life. Because again, got to make sure I don't close the interaction window. Okay, they're tapping 4 mana to play the One Ring. That's really annoying. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Blueberry Brown Sloth. That was Hannah. Hi, Hannah. Thank you for the follow. Okay, the One Ring is, of course, very good against us. Honestly, the perfect thing they could have drawn. But maybe they drew the land. Who knows? Um, they draw a card. Let's see if it's a heater. Doesn't look like it. They have lots of blockers. We have Tishana's Tidebinder, though, which is pretty excellent. Probably going to use this to prevent them from drawing anymore with the ring. That seems like the tactical play. No need to preordain yet anyway, either. Because we honestly don't know what we're looking for, is the thing. We could be needing to look for something that just straight up wins us the game, and if we preordain too early, then that's of course not good. The Ozolith is a dead draw from them. Okay, so what do we need here? We have to worry about what's it called? Uh, Shadow Sphere. We have to worry about Shadow Sphere. Okay, they're worried about another Tidebinder, so they're doing that. So I'd like a Snapcaster Mage or a Flame of Anor or a Tidebinder. Tidebinder is also good because we can stifle the trigger to equip Shadow Sphere, which is excellent. Saving this bolt because you never know, they could block poorly. And I think I will preordain now. Dress Down is excellent. Gonna swing with Murky. They block there. That's fine. Oh, you might want to mute me, Hannah, so it doesn't echo. Or put headphones in. Okay. Okay, so we let this hit. They're probably going to get Shadow Spear. There's no need to even cast Tishana's Tidebinder. Let's see what they do. They know our hand is good, right? Like, we just pass with all this mana. Like, they know some good stuff's about to happen. Basilisk Collar. Okay, so they don't have Shadow Sphere. They have this for like Walking Ballista. I'm just gonna do this now. No reason not to. Goodbye, Moon Man. I guess there's not no reason not to. But we have the counter spell anyway, right? So and we just swing out here. Dress down doing its job. I'm just getting Tidebinder activation here. That way we can still hold up Bolt. I know we're already winning and this doesn't matter, but like the whole point of me doing this is to like condition myself into getting better at the game again. So I should still be playing optimally even if I'm far ahead. This matchup seems very good, like very, very good. Um, because our sideboard is just crazy against them, really. We have, we got removal, some of the best removal ever against them. I guess we take out the spell pierces and play a null, because that's just better than stern scolding. Actually, really, like, we should take out the the counter spells entirely, because all of our other counter spells are just better, except for like force of negation, right? And we bring in another Tidebinder. We could play Brotherhood's End. I kind of like the idea of Brotherhood's End over the Flame Slashes, because if we're going to be playing a sorcery speed removal spell, we might as well play the one that like absolutely kills everything. Because we are going to fall behind here. Like, that's just the nature of the beast. And Flame Slash lines up really, really bad against Arcbound Ravager. And yeah, I think that's good. Just like improving the quality of our counter magic. And because this matchup's already favored. And bringing in another Tidebinder, like that seems a-okay. Because a null can still counter the One Ring. Tidebinder can also effectively counter the One Ring. So lots of good things for this matchup. I think we're stupidly favored. I would much rather play against Hardened Scales than Yogg, and this just seems like I know they like win in different ways, but like what makes each deck good is very similar. It's like here's my creature based combo deck where the interaction window is abysmal and good luck interacting with anything, right? Um if it resolves. If it never resolves, it's fine. And Yawgmoth is a bit harder because of Delighted Halfling just basically being a Spellskite for removal. It's like you have to kill this if you want to counter anything else. Um, so normally I wouldn't keep this, but it has easily our best card in the matchup with Brotherhood's End, and these 5 lands are all Thundering Falls, right? Not all of them, but like at least 2 of these are Thundering Falls. So like it stands to reason that our actual card quality is going to be really good, and we already have like the best card against this deck. And we even drew the Stern Scolding. We are unstoppably. Okay, things that I want to counter with this are Hangerback Walker and Arcbound Ravager. Patchwork Automaton is fine. That's gonna die to Brotherhood's End. Gotta watch out for Welding Jar, but other than that, I think we're okay. Keep another Stern Scolding. Effectively counterspell, right? Not against the One Ring, but just gotta hope they don't play it before we can find an answer to the One Ring. Let this grow. Haywire Might's pretty useless. Um, like that's not even good against Dress Down because it loses its abilities before Dress Down can do its thing. Wow, and no artifact to play. Or maybe they have an artifact, but they just don't want it to be countered. I will counter Hangerback Walker here. Zabaz, I do not care. You can have Zabaz. Walking Ballista, I also don't care. Okay, so like they're probably gonna play the One Ring next turn, which is sad, but not unbeatable. If they don't play the One Ring, though, I can't foresee us losing. Okay, so we just Brotherhoods end here. Gotta click the correct mode, which is destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. And if they don't concede here, that probably means they have the One Ring, right? Or that they're in a position where they can, like, play the One Ring potentially next turn. Because their hand could just be, like, 2 Ancient Stirrings, right? So they gain 2 life, they get a modular ability that doesn't do anything. No problem. And, like, I honestly think we can beat the One Ring, too. That's the great thing about Tidebinder, is even if they play the One Ring here, like, that's obviously bad, right? But it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna Subtlety Arcbound. Like, we're so far ahead after that board wipe. I will just do this so that the interaction windows continue to be reasonable, right? I'm not winning with that subtlety anyway. Like, and I don't want to, like, have to worry about Arcbound Ravager on top of a One Ring if they manage to resolve that. And they put Ravager on top, too, so we're just kind of stern scolding that, move on with our lives. Wow, they don't play anything. Don't they know that if you don't make the control deck have it, you lose? Well, that's not necessarily true, but still. Hardened Scales. I think that's fine, because, like, nothing else is going to resolve this game anyway. Like, is that cruel of me to say? Like, it's like, yeah, you can have your Hardened Scales because you're just never sticking another creature. I mean, they could. I could like draw all lands, but feel like that's not going to happen. And their card quality is so much worse than mine. Like, that's low quality bait, is the Hardened Scales. Because they know this is essentially just nothing if they don't have a creature. No point in playing my Flame of Anor. We're already ahead. Don't want to play that card unless I can get 2 for 1. Yep. They're just, like, amassing energy, but we are too. Just preordain, keep paying our land drops. Okay, if they don't do anything next turn, I am just gonna Flame of Anor, so that I can keep hitting land drops. This does, like, this is like a weird Cryptic Command impression, right? 3 steps ahead. Because, like, I basically have Cryptic Command up right now. It's like, yeah, all this is cool, but are you gonna play a creature? Yeah, I think it's over. I think this game's over. To my knowledge, they don't have any flash creatures. Sweet, we hit some lands. Gonna play Island. That way I can subtlety and hold up 3 steps ahead. If they tap out for a ring here, we We get to do it, right? Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah. Do you have any counters? No, you just... Okay. You know what? I have decided if they want to start attacking with the Inkmoth Nexus, I will just... It's like, okay, we're playing this game. Let's fight. Still want to keep a card in my hand to discard to 3 steps ahead. That way it's just, like, better than Cryptic Command, right? Because, like, I discard a land, but I draw 2, like, fresh cards. Impressed by this card so far. This is opening up some options. Walking Ballista. We will subtlety that. Get us out of garbage time. Put it on the bottom. This is the window they're trying to make, right? Nope. They're just passing. No need to even play Murktide Regent. We are so far ahead. If they play anything, we get to 3 steps ahead. Pick your poison. I'm gonna counter, make a token, draw 2, discard. Cause they just don't have anything. Well, there's the screen cap, guys, is me casting 3 steps ahead with all 3 modes. There you go. That is, if that's not us doing it, I don't know what is. Now they can't even attack with Inkmoth Nexus. Okay, and we even draw an null. This is... Your list is sick. Oh, thank you! We didn't make it. We just pulled it from the standings of MTG Goldfish, but I appreciate that. I like that we're playing against somebody who's like in good spirits, right? That's not common on Moto. At least it wasn't when I was playing a bunch. Okay, they're dead on board next turn, because we can Tidebinder the Urza Saga activation. We are just in garbage time. But you know, this is also hardened scales. I guess it's a bit disingenuous for me to call it garbage time because they are just like we could just have 5 lands, really, is the thing. And they are hardened scales, right? So with this setup, 1 top deck and they could potentially win. Like Arcbound Ravager, if I guess because they blocked with Inkmoth Nexus, they couldn't have won, right? 3 steps ahead, looking really good that game. It's so funny how much better that card was than Archmage's Charm in that matchup. Because I always considered Archmage's Charm to be one of the best cards against what's it called? Against hardened scales, right? Because you could steal their constructs. You could let them like develop their board into a big dude and then just swipe it. But that might have been too cute, right? That might have been too cute. 3 steps ahead feels like a really good hybrid of Archmage's Charm and Cryptic Command. So far. So far. Card could still be bad. We were super ahead in that game, right? Let's see how it does against the matchups where we're not doing so hot. Ooh. Legion's landing turn 1 off of Amiria. Oh, is this Spikes' collector's cage deck? Is that what we're doing? Uh Spike's brews are pretty good, but it might not be that. It could just be like a tokens deck. That's gonna be annoying if it flips. Which it might, because we only have one lightning bolt. I guess we got two if we hit our third land with Snapcaster Mages, but bolting tokens feels kind of bad. Brotherhood's End is really good against that deck, as is Tidebender and Stern Scolding. So we got options. I like thinking about how to sideboard against a deck immediately. Um, because then you're not just like, if you lose, you might not sideboard as efficiently, right? You might be like, oh no, I have lost. And I am sad that I lost. And now I'm going to be upset about it. And that will impact my sideboard choices. So, like, as soon as I figure out what deck I'm playing against, I like having a sideboard plan. Obviously, just like bolting the nurturing pixie there, because it's gonna beat us down. I know it returned a thing to their hand, but I just want to keep their creature count low because they got Windbrisk Kites out right now, right? So if they don't play a land, I'm gonna spell pierce the Legion's Landing. Okay, they got another Windbrisk Kites. So the name of the game is keep the creature count low, right? That's what it's all about. Which means spell piercing Legion's Landing if they play it here. If they play a 2-drop, I'll just counter spell instead. No. Convert that spell pierce. And I like not playing the preordained last turn because we don't know if they were going to play a 2-drop, right? And now, if they got 1-drop, they play that. Uh, Memnite, Shyamalan, and Halo Hopper. Okay, so that's what we're getting with Snapcaster Mage, Lightning Bolt, because this is if you attacked with 3 or more creatures. Okay, yeah, deal. So, good old Snappy Boy. Kill Halo Hopper, because that deals the most damage. We subtlety literally anything, any creature that they play, especially if it's a convoke creature. Clarion Spirit, whenever you cast your second spell, no. Not even gonna finish reading the text on that. It makes dudes. It's in one of Spike's brews, so it obviously has a purpose. Because that man has 0 fat most of the time in the things he builds. Um, so if it exists in that deck, we should be afraid. Um, yeah, I think we attack here. Because we got 2 counter spells. We can counter a 2-drop. No. And now they're going to be more incentivized to race, which is good because our top decks are just better. Oh, wow, no. Huh. Okay, I guess we preordain. Take Misty. Hmm. I thought that would work. I thought we could bait them into racing. No, thank you. That card will just take over the game. Okay, and now we got subtlety, and we can do 3 steps ahead next turn to copy subtlety, which is just better than the counterspell mode on here. Yeah, I'm liking this. This card is showing its stuff a little bit. I will counter another war into the first tree. Ooh. Yeah, that is unbeatable for us. Even if we draw Flame of Anor. Like, I guess if we draw Flame of Anor, it's fine. I don't want to risk that. Like, our subtlety line is sick, but I don't want to. I don't want to fucking risk that because that's just gonna make their lifelink creature bigger. And I feel like they just top deck that, and like they got like a convoke creature in their hand, or more funny like an Emrakul. Um, and we can just like nickel and dime them here. I'm not keeping Flame Slash. We can do better than that. Like like Flame of Anor. That's the one. That's how we win this game. Halo Hopper. I'm gonna subtlety that. They'll put it on top. I'm almost certain they put it on top, right? Or maybe they don't. Maybe they just are like, I need another collector's cage. No, they do put it on top. Okay. Huh. And we know they're drawing that. So I think I'm going to deal 3 damage here to the lifelink token and draw 2. That way, if we draw Flame Slash, we can kill the Memnite. Okay. I think the game's over. We're kind of tapped out, but like next turn we can go Snapcaster Mage, Flame of Anor, kill both the dudes, and then it's just it's not going anywhere nice. This is the best 2-for-1. This is one of the best 2-for-1s in Modern right now. Like straight up. I feel like if blue-red control is going anywhere in the future, you need to play Wizards, and you need to play 4 Flame of Anor, regardless of what Modern Horizons brings. I might be wrong about that. I might be making the same error a lot of people are making, where they're like judging cards in the context of current Modern when Modern's about to rotate. But it's really hard for me to see any of the stuff they printed being better for blue-red control than Flame of Anor, but maybe there is something out there. Maybe a new deck arises. But this feels like a good starting point. Is just like, I'm playing 4 of these. How do I facilitate that? Okay, we want Brotherhoods in. We want Stern Scolding. Those are the things we know we want. Spell Pierce, we got so lucky that we could have actually converted the Spell Pierce there. Tishana's Tidebender seems really good at stopping Collector's Cage. You can also stop the Emrakul trigger, but if they resolve Emrakul, that's probably game over, but even so, it seems like a really good threat in the matchup. 3 steps ahead was awesome. That very impressed so far with this card. Would never considered it. We still need to make 3 cuts though. We know we have stuff to bring in, but I didn't really consider what we were taking out. Spellslinger seems good for countering Collector's Cage and Clarion Spirit, but not really much else. Um, Still, I think it's worth having. Uh, I'll take out 1 Murktide Regent because I feel as if we're not really going to be in a lot of positions to tap out for it. And I'll take out 2 Preordain because we really don't want to be spending our turns casting Preordain when we could just be holding up interaction, right? Um, this is like almost exactly the same hand as what we had against Hardened Scales last game, but there's no Brotherhood's End, and I feel much more scared of this deck than I do Hardened Scales, so we're gonna ship that. This has to be keepable, is the thing. I'm gonna put back 1 Flame of Anor because 1 should be good enough for us here. We do have Subtlety, which is cool, but if they play Warden here, I might Subtlety it. Okay, they're just playing Legion's Landing. That's fine. I'm not really afraid of that. And Memnite. Okay, that's much more scary. Do I just Flame Slash one of these immediately? I have to. I have to, actually. I'll kill the Life Linker because I don't think there's any artifact synergies in Spike's build of this deck. And I'm way more afraid of Lifelink than I am of just 1/1 artifact boy. Okay, there's Cage. We can't do anything about that currently. What we can do is we can eventually Tidebinder it. And then as long as Tidebinder doesn't die, we're sitting pretty. I'm holding up Counterspell here. Because, okay, Memnite, sure. I'm more afraid of creature number 2. If they have it. They're just not doing anything. That scares me. Is there some Convoke spell that I don't know about? I'm a little afraid of that, honestly. I'm actually super afraid of that because there's really no reason why they shouldn't have attacked. And that's why. Okay. Fears justified. Okay, get rid of Warden. Because that's just going to win them the game. Um, and then they... Oh my gosh, they had another. That's crazy, dude. That's nuts. Okay. Put a 1/1 counter on Warden. Sure. Did they put Warden on top? They put it on the bottom. And they scryed 1. And they put it on top. Terrifying. Legitimately terrifying. Okay. We can still Tidebinder and then Flame of Anor, but who knows what they do here? They don't have. Okay, there's Nurturing Pixie. And they get to return Legion's Landing. Mm-hmm. I fucked up. I just realized I fucked up. I forgot that got a counter. I forgot that got a counter. Whoops. Whoops. I forgot I was viewing like nurturing Pixie as a 1/1. I saw it be a 1/1 when it entered. Really what I should have done. No, I don't think there was actually any way around that. Really, I would have had to like subtlety the nurturing Pixie, and then I wouldn't have had Flame of Anor. I still didn't play that like super well, but I think they were creating like a hard lock situation there. Their sequencing was excellent. Yeah, that was some awesome sequencing, honestly. I guess I could have just waited until they like did the collector's cage. Maybe they wouldn't have done it though. Actually, there's no reason for them to do it there. They can just do it on the instep, right? Yeah, that was some tight play there. Second Warden was really brutal. Are they just not playing something turn one? No, they're playing Mimknight. That's fine. That's less fine. Okay. I will counter Collector's Cage here. I will counter basically anything. Okay. That means we get a turn. Okay. Well played, opponent. And now we have to, like... Okay, now we don't have to do shit. Now we don't have to do shit. I'm gonna bottom both of those. Because I really want another land, is the thing. Okay, they have to pay a white mana to activate that, right? Okay, thank the good lord. Like, if they just immediately, like, uncounterable way to get Emrakul, then I would have had a hissy fit, honestly. And they know I have, like, counter magic of some kind, right? They don't know I have brothers in, though. Okay, we need a land here. Okay, thank goodness. Because now we can go do this, Brotherhood's End, kill all your stuff. Very important we pick the right mode. Okay, those are dead. Collector's Cage we don't care about. Now it's just the hardened scales matchup again, right? Where it's like, okay, all your dudes are dead. Like, here we are. You're gonna play out other stuff. It's not gonna matter as much. It's like, it's so weird what modern is now, right? Because it's like, Spike's a great brewer, don't get me wrong. But like, this deck really isn't that different from the Hardened Scales deck we played, or like the Yawgmoth deck. They're like different flavors of like, here's my creature based deck with like a stupidly small interaction window. Like, copy and paste like 20 different times across a bunch of different colors. And then if you're not that, you're like, here's my land based combo deck that's difficult to interact with. Maybe I just described Magic the Gathering though, is the thing, right? Maybe this isn't a like back in my day modern was so good type thing. Maybe it's just like, yeah, creature based combo decks with small interaction windows have existed for a while. Maybe the interaction windows are just getting smaller though. This deck seems really tight though. I'm definitely more afraid of it than I was Hardened Scales. That could just be though me knowing less about it than Hardened Scales though, because I'm like, ooh, new deck. It could have anything. It could even have a thing that beats Brotherhood's End. It didn't. It will, with that new white flare that's coming out, but didn't that time. Um, this hand is bad. Spell Snare, 5 lands. One of them is the Thundering Falls, so we can't even surveil a bunch. This hand is better. I will keep bottom the steam. That's okay. If there is need to spell pierce, I will spell pierce. If not, I will do the surveil land thing. Whoa, Thoughtseize. Whoa! Yeah, let's go! I love it. Get out of here. You don't get to see what's in the cookie jar. Watch, they're gonna grief me. They're gonna be like, fuck you, I'm taking a look. Okay. Mutavault's great, because we can do Flame of Anor stuff with that. Uh Thought sees me again. Or are they just holding up Bowmaster? Oh, it's Jund. Okay. Lay Tarmogoyf. Okay, I gotta be careful what I bin here. Not getting rid of that. Time to give Tarmogoyf an ability so that he can trigger Time Finder. No, that's not gonna happen. Let's see. It's a 3/5, meaning I can realistically Flame of Anor it. If they fuck up here, if they fuck up here, fetch, 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 fetch. Fine. Fetch. If they have exactly Fatal Bush here, I will be a sad boy. Oh, Jund. Oh, Jund, you never don't have it, is the thing. And Mishra's research desk says sacrifice it, so now they have artifact. Yeah. Maybe they play a 2-drop here. Like, I don't have a wizard. Oh my gosh. First rule of playing against Jund that I broke is Never assume they don't have it, because they always have it. Shadow Spear. Okay. And yep, they just played that really well. Something tells me 3 steps ahead is not going to do it. And they know about the subtlety, so they're not going to play into that. Yeah. Okay, if we go to 4, they're at 20. We are sad. Okay. And while we're sad, I should probably be thinking about how to sideboard against them. Blood Moon for sure. But if these players are. If this guy is good enough to play around Tidebinder, they're going to play around Blood Moon. That being said, I don't think that matters. I think we still bring it in. I'm also bringing in Hearse. They're definitely in Urza Saga deck. So I think Tidebinder is good. Man. 3 steps ahead. Not really good enough on this board. We're not in a position to race either. I don't think there's anything we have that kills Tarmogoyf. It's just not worth continuing. We had a window to kill Tarmogoyf, and we got greedy. Let's think. Okay. If they're like Jund Saga, they definitely have Ragavan. They definitely have Bowmasters. So I think Stern Scolding's probably good. Maybe this can catch a Tarmogoyf. I don't know. But it gets the annoying creatures that pave the way for Tarmogoyf, right? Spell Snare seems really good. Spell Pierce does not seem good because it's only really good against the turn one Thoughtseize. And Ren in 6. And Spell Snare just takes care of Ren and Tarmogoyf. We have a lot we're bringing in, really. Definitely want the dress downs. That's going to be essential. Um, Flame Slash is horrible against them. That only kills Bowmasters, does not kill a dashed Ragavan. We're better off just taking that with Stern Scolding. Um, if we're bringing in unlicensed Hearse, we should probably take out Snappy Boy. Maybe. Trying to think. We're not really gonna like get them with 3 steps ahead, right? So maybe that's one of the cuts. And cut one Snappy Boy. Try it like that. Because we can empty our own graveyard with Murktide theoretically, but we gotta keep their graveyard trim with unlicensed Hearse to stop Ren and stop Tarmogoyf from being as annoying. Because they're running like every creature type under the sun. Maybe I take out one preordain because I can't really afford to tap out against them, and I bring in a Snappy Boy. What Snapcaster Mage flashing back though? Probably just Flame of Anor. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the way. Huh. I'm definitely keeping this. This seems fine. We got Lightning Bolt for Ragavan, which is important. And we can lead on Thundering Falls. Actually, I'm not going to lead on Thundering Falls. I'm going to lead on Scalding Tarn. If they play Ragavan, I'll bolt it. Okay, they're just Thought Seizing. Cool. Basically Thought Seize. And now we can still Thundering Falls end of turn because we got two of them. Got two of them in this deck. They can only take Tidebinder and Bolt. Probably taking Bolt, right? Because they want to dash Ragavan or play Bowmasters or some annoying shit so that we feel more pressured to interact at inopportune times. Nope, they take Tidebinder. Okay. That's interesting. Well, they can't play Ren and 6 on turn 2. I will keep Preordain. And I'm going to immediately cast Preordain. Is the thing. Because I don't want to get got by Bowmasters. I'll still hold up Lightning Bolt. Bottom that. Keep Snapcaster Mage, honestly. He's good. I can Murktide next turn. Murktide's probably going to eat a removal spell. And then our graveyard is nice and empty. Okay. If we draw a land here, this Tarmogoyf is dead. But I could also subtlety it, right? I could do that. No, I'd rather save the subtlety for something else. They don't have any red mana currently, so they're gonna have a hard time actually killing this. Okay. So 5. There's no instance in the graveyard. So what we do here is we bolt, then delve. This has 3 damaged mark on it. Due to state-based actions, it will die. And now there is a 5/5 Murktide, and they don't have Delirium yet, nor do they have red mana. They take away Fatal Push. Cool. And that, my friends, is the magic I think you come here to see, right? Because that play, if I do say so myself, was fucking tasty. That was a tasty play. I doubt we're gonna win because Jund has historically been one of my worst matchups, like in every era of Modern. So if this is like Jund, but I 2-for-1 you even harder, it's probably not gonna end well, right? But we got Mutavault, we got Subtlety, we are the beatdown. I don't care about Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I do not. Besage you. I like that I don't see Urza Saga anywhere currently. I'm not gonna keep Odawara. I'm also not attacking with the Mutavault. I'm just gonna hold up Subtlety. They have to play something to like actually do anything here. And they have to off this goblin token and the treasure, so off of 5 mana, they have to kill both of the subtleties I'm gonna play, or kill the Murktide Regent and like block the subtlety, and they have to do all of this without playing a creature. So I don't see it. I just don't. They could like play Shadow Sphere, they could like play an Equip It gain 3, and then we just kill them with subtleties plus Mutavault. Even if they have removal for Murktide. Yeah, we just got very lucky drawing that island, to be completely honest. Got very lucky. Then again, they should have also taken the Lightning Bolt instead of Tidebinder. Tidebinder did not come up. during that game at all. So maybe that was also just our opponent misplaying, but I don't know. Our opponent played so well during that first game that I'm hesitant to be like, oh, the opponent just misplayed. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't have the Tarmogoyf in their hand. Um, we need more removal for Ragavan, so I'm taking out 2 preordains because we're gonna be on the draw anyway, and putting in the Flame Slashes and then calling it. There is a chance Flame Slash will just be horrible, especially if we top deck it when Tarmogoyf's already swole. This hand is good unless they play Ragavan turn 1. I can deal with like anything else they do other than playing Ragavan because they're not a Grief Scam deck. Sweet. No Ragavan. You love to see it. Let's fucking go. I love seeing no Ragavan, Charlie. Oh my gosh, and it's Urza Saga. Okay, this is cool. This is cool because the Urza Saga gamers, they like literally can only like play Urza Saga once it's out because they're like afraid of counter magic, right? Maybe I Stern Scolding here though. Like I could preordain. Yeah, I'm gonna preordain because they got Bowmasters, right? I don't know. Then yeah, no. Yeah, I'm preordaining here. Gain a land. Because they're obviously repping Bowmasters. Okay, bottom those. Still no land. Okay, and they didn't have Bowmasters, so now they're just going to make Urza Construct tokens. We're closer to finding a land. They could play Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. Wow. They actually didn't make a construct. That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me that they didn't make a construct. We're definitely not hitting our land drops, though, which is an issue. They're probably getting Thoughtseize here. But we had to kill that Shaman, right? We had to, otherwise they'd just be able to play around Blood Moon forever. Yeah, they're thinking about it, right? They're thinking. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, they were thinking. They're like, do I want to make a construct or do I want to just like play shit? Really, I think they made the right call. Nile Spellbomb. That is fine. I'm gonna try and play Blood Moon here, but I need to hit a land. Didn't hit a land. That's really sad. I think I'd get rid of Unlicensed Hearse. Man. Stinks that we're not drawing our land. I think we have everything like in our hand that we need to win. But it just didn't matter. Man, still no land. That's impressive, honestly. Okay, there we go. Um Cast Blood Moon, kill Urza Saga, lock them out of 2 of their main colors. we're still not completely out of it, right? Because they could play Ragavan here. There it is. I hate that monkey. I hate that monkey. That monkey is too fucking good. And now they're gonna play Tarmogoyf. Wow! Holy guac! What a play! Okay, I prefer that over them playing Tarmogoyf, to be honest, because now things are kind of stabilized for us, right? Like they still have a Fable of the Mirror Breaker and 5 cards in hand. Okay, and there's that Thoughtseize. Let's take a peek. How about you go fuck off? No offense to my opponent. I'm so sick of fucking Thoughtseize. Ugh. It's not enough just to play around stuff. I have to take a peek. Okay. I think we're doing okay. We got some shit we can pull. Let's see if they crack Nile Spellbomb here. I think that's an incredibly heads up thing if they do that. I doubt they do that because we haven't been playing like we have Murktide. But it would be funny. There's Ragavan. Here is my subtlety. So they have to fatal push this, right? Unless they drew a land, then they're just like, here's Tarmogoyf. And then I'm like, well, then I guess I can do like Dress Down Flame of Anorit, but that's kind of a lot losing play. Okay. Wow, they're looking for Bloodstained Mire. Gonna cast Fatal Push, right? Gonna fetch out Blood Crypt, cast Fatal Push, hit me for 2, nickel and dime me out of the game, right? Yeah. At least at least they have less cards, right? They got less cards than me. They had to shuffle away that Ragavan. Oh, wait, what? Oh my gosh, they're just afraid of Murktide. Is Murktide the new Blood Moon? Does it gain us percentage points by people playing around it when it's not there? Uh yeah, just no. Not doing that. Not playing the Fable of the Mirror Breaker sub game. Okay. Thoughtseize. Nope. Inquisition. Sure. Honestly, sure. Take a look. Here's my hand. Here's my hand of interactive blue cards. What do you think about it? If they play Tarmogoyf, I'm just going to Dress Down Instep Flame of Anor Tarmogoyf. I know that's kind of a losing play um, in a lot of ways because it just opens me up to them just casting something better next turn. It also turns on Fatal Push, but I 100% don't want to deal with Tarmogoyf this game. Just don't want to deal with it. If they put Jingotha in my hand, in their hand, I will be so happy. Okay, they take Counterspell. They terminate that, sure. Go, my 3-2. My vanilla free 2. Nothing left the battlefield for them, right? No. Cool. Revolt is not online. There's Murktide. I'm gonna play Murktide, honestly. Because we got Flame of Anor. Most of the stuff that they could play to punish us, like Shieldred, um, they'd have to tap out for that. They could go like Thoughtseize Shieldred, but then we're still like beating them in the air, and we can dress down Shieldred so that they don't gain life. Um, they're just not in a good position here. Even if they play Tarmogoyf, it'll be like, okay, attack with my dudes. Um, make Tarmogoyf a 0-1 if you block. We got pretty lucky this game. If they fatal pushed subtlety earlier, then and still had like Nile Spellbomb, we would be so toast. It'd be cool if we beat Jund here. Jund is not easy. Okay, they're unearthing that. That's a desperation play. They get Unholy Heat, kill Murktide Regent. That's fine. Okay, so there is a chance. We drew Subtlety, which is cool. Because now, if they play a threat, they're just dead on board again. Jund doing Jund things. Let's see how good they top deck. Okay, play your removal, opponent. Play your removal. If they got 2 pieces of removal, that's scary, but it also doesn't make sense because they could have just killed Tidebinder earlier at one of the many points we were tapped out. So that tells me my opponent like maybe drew like Terminate or Unholy Heat or Lightning Bolt, but they don't have both pieces of removal. So Subtlety is basically 4 mana, discards something. Okay, now we can do Dress Down plus Flame of Anor, which is not nothing. Orcish Bowmasters. Do this. They should have done this earlier, I feel. And I should have fetched. I should have fetched. Because now they can kill my wizard in response. They're probably not going to do that, though. Because they probably need to chump block. Okay. Honestly, double Bowmasters, good play. I don't know why they didn't cast these earlier to kill my Tidebinder. But sure. Oh yeah, that's right. That doesn't have abilities now, which means it doesn't have flying. Oh man. Okay. Nope. Now they can win. Now they can win. Especially if they Ragavan. Now we need them to brick. That was horrible on my part. Oh my gosh. Okay. What? Okay, so they bricked. They bricked, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. And they can't just play Jingotha next turn. That has to be like their further down the line plan, right? I hate playing against Chunt. It is so tense. Okay, we got there. We are currently 3-0. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, everybody. Um, so far, Blue Red Wizards looking really good, right? I've been impressed with 3 steps ahead. I don't think it would have done much in the Jund matchup just because we don't really have any time to breathe in that matchup. But I'm liking it so far. I'm going to go on the bathroom break, though. While I'm gone, YouTube people, people watching the stream, any people, go Wishlist Sirens Call. The link is right here. This is my passion project. This is what I've been working on for like 7 years with my wife. It's a psychological horror visual novel about trying to get out of Florida, but Florida doesn't want you to leave. It is releasing a little bit from now, April 15th of next year. And we got betas and demos up on Steam too if you're interested in trying it out. If you want to dive a little bit deeper into my brain and figure out what I'm truly passionate about, that's the best way to do it. But I will be right back. Okay, I wasn't muted the whole time, was I? Because that would have been really embarrassing. Okay. We are back. Back. Okay. 2 more games. Let's see if the 5-0 dream can become a reality. I'm hoping that's the case. So far, this deck is maybe muted because I don't hear anything. Rats. How about now? Can you hear me now? Do. La. Okay, cool. Good shit. Okay, let's see what the future holds for this 3 steps ahead build. Let's see. We got subtlety, we got counter magic, we got removal, and fetch lands. What more could I possibly ask for? And turn 1 Thoughtseize. Let's go. Okay. This is not going to be easy. This is not going to be an easy 5-0 if we do get a 5-0. They take the lightning bolt, which scares me. Gonna go steam vents, P2, do some digging. They don't know about Tidebender, but they took the lightning bolt, right? So they obviously want to resolve like a Ragavan or something, right? Man. Red source, dash Ragavan, go. Right? I'm gonna let this happen, honestly. It's fine. It's honestly fine. We can take a single hit from Ragavan. Okay, they exiled an island anyway. We didn't want to draw that. They get to ramp, which is sad, but you know, maybe we draw a lightning bolt, maybe we draw a counter spell. Spell snare of note does not counter dash Ragavan, which is sad, but can't be helped. Okay, they're doing that. Spell snare does counter Bowmasters though, so that's something we gotta be cautious about. I'm gonna get rid of the lightning bolt. I don't want them playing that. Don't want them being like, yay, 3 damage. Okay, they got rid of Spire Bluff. This is fine. Okay, they're just tapping out for Fable of the Mirror Breaker here, right? Yeah, that's fine. We'll play an island. Bad beats from Ragavan, to be honest. But it's not the end of the world. It just feels like it. Okay. Let's get rid of... Do I stifle this? I feel like I do. Right? Maybe I don't. Actually, no, because now we got 3 steps ahead up. They know we got 3 steps ahead. And they know we got subtlety, right? I'm gonna be proactive here. I'm gonna be proactive. We gotta recoup some of these losses, is the thing. Nothing's left the battlefield yet, so they can't fatal push this. We got creatures covered with subtlety, worst case scenario. They don't have red mana currently. They can make red mana with the Goblin Shaman token. Okay, they're trying to trade here. They might dash with Ragavan, make a red mana, or make a treasure, crack the treasure. Yeah, fatal push, sure. Man, this is like impossible to play around, right? It's like let's play around everything. Grief. You know what? I'm done with that. I'm done with that shit. No, thank you. We're good. Hopefully their last card is not dead after all. And then they break next turn. Nope, they're just gonna grief again. Um, that's cool. I'll keep Flame of Anor. That way, if they grief next turn, which is possible, I can just flame it. Because I'm definitely stifling this trigger. Stifling this trigger. They can take my 3 steps ahead. They would have needed to draw Fatal Push or Lightning Bolt here. Oh, no. Now they have enough mana to cast 3 steps ahead. I mean, not 3 steps ahead. They have enough mana to cast Not Dead After All and Grief. Cool. Okay. Play that tapped because we can't really afford to lose more life. This is rough. This is very brutal. Okay, let's draw 2 cards. Kill this. Or attempt to, right? Like. It's so boring. Trying to think what we could have done differently. Okay. Dash out Ragavan, right? Damn, we are just on the back foot this whole game. That's not going to do anything. Gotta draw 2 cards and discard a card and hope one of them is Lightning Bolt. It's not. Man. Scam is aptly named because I will never get those hours of my life back. That was not fun. That was some horrible magic. Let's take out Spell Pierce. Spell Snare's still good at countering Bowmaster and Dothy, Voidwalker, and Terminate. Spell Pierce just isn't good in this matchup. It really isn't. They generate so much mana that they will just play around it, and as we saw during the final parts of that game, it's just a terrible top deck. It is a terrible, no good, very bad top deck. We could play Unlicensed Hearse over Dress Down. I kind of like that. Just as a way to stop their scam effects. Give us a threat. It is pretty bad to tap out for, but it is nice just having this be here to be like, your stuff will stay dead. And I do like having the extra Tidebinder in. 3 steps ahead seems fine. Don't hate that. I'll bring in one hearse. One hearse. Because if they take it early on or kill it early on, I kind of don't want to draw a second one. Okay. This hand's great. We got way to counter grief. We got a way to counter Bowmasters. This counter magic will protect us. I hope. Hate that monkey. Drives me insane. Can't wait for the blue version of it that's coming out later. For those of you who don't know, the blue version of that is Tameo. Not as powerful as Ragavan, but very similar role player. Okay, we're gonna fetch here. They're gonna Bowmaster. I'm gonna keep. Do I keep Murktide? I do keep Murktide. That's like the best threat in my deck. They might Bowmaster on my instep. Which maybe it makes sense to maybe it makes sense to dig for a land there instead so I could hold up Spell Snare and Counterspell. But I don't know. I feel like we need a way to win the game. Okay, now they're just not going to play anything, right? Yeah, this is how we lose. This is definitely how we lose. Now they just flash in another Bowmaster. They get rid of Thoughtseize. Like, they know they're ahead. Uh-huh. Please just literally play anything. Grief? That is a strange choice. I'm not gonna lie. I think they were far enough ahead they didn't need to tap out to play Grief. I'm happy they did. I'm happy they did, but like maybe not the best play. Because now, even though I'm behind, like there's like a chance I can win now. Okay. They're gonna take Murktide Regent here. which is sad. But at least they're kind of like flooding out, and they didn't even have a not dead after all effect. Otherwise, they would have shocked that in because there's no way they're concerned about their life total when they're just flashing in bowmasters and killing me. Wow. Okay, they have Shieldred, right? They have Shieldred. There's no way they don't. Um, but that's fine because we can counter Shieldred with Tidebinder, and we can counter that. Do they have two? Oh my gosh. Okay. That's crazy to me that they had two ways to kill Murktide there. That is bananas. Okay, we need to hit a land here. We can't just sit on this preordained forever. That is cuckoo crazy. Oh man. Okay. If they play Shieldred now, we lose. If they play Grief, we still probably lose, but there might be a chance. Okay. Shuffle away the 3 steps ahead. Hope we draw Lightning Bolt. We can do this. We're at 7. That Bowmaster just dealt so much fucking damage to us. Modern's so cruel. You like stumble once and you're just dunzo funzo. Okay, this doesn't have Menace anymore, which is good. We hang back, play defensively. Hope to draw something that can deal with this board. Snapcaster Mage would be cool, because then we can flashback Preordain. They don't have good attacks. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Man, it's just 2 Terminates and a Molten Collapse. Like, holy. Okay, now if they Lightning Bolt me, I'm dead. But there's no way I can't just Thundering Falls here. I need to find something that is good. I'm gonna flash this in case we draw Flame of Anor. We need the perfect sequence of cards and for them to brick in their deck that is nothing but value, and we lose. Well, that's really upsetting, but it's nothing worth crying over. That's just scam, right? That's just grief scam. Doing grief scam things. Can't really think of anything that could have been done there. I do feel like that is a matchup where um invert polarity would have been better than 3 steps ahead, because if you can just like amass more value than your opponent, then you just win the game, right? And with invert polarity, there is like a 50% chance you just win the game against value based decks, right? And they go to like kill your Murktide, it's like actually your thing's dead and now you're behind. Otherwise you just counter it. So I feel like it's the same reason I really didn't like the 3 steps ahead in the Jund matchup, because like the Jun Saga matchup, because when your opponent's kind of like nickel and diming you out of the game with these flash threats and with these cards that generate overwhelming value, where if you don't answer them, like the turn they come out, you're just toast. Um, then I feel like just stealing that card, or like a 50% chance of stealing it, that'll be enough, because the cards are going to be good for you as well. If my opponent plays Grief and I'm like, invert polarity, steal your Grief, um, now you're being thought seized, then that just completely changes the dynamic. Modern is so swingy right now, is the thing. And like those past two games really kind of like exemplified that, where it's like, I have the advantage and I will simply never let go of it. And what invert polarity does, aptly enough named, is it reverses the status quo of that. So I think that's going to be really important for these kinds of decks moving forward. I also think Tamio probably has a home somewhere in these decks, just because she is another wizard and she does generate value on attack, not dissimilar to Ragavan. Okay. We're against Amulet Titan. This theoretically is one of our better matchups. They are on the play, and they are Amulet Titan, though. Um, and we don't have Blood Moons in the main deck. We do have Tidebinder, though, which can just shut off an Amulet of Vigor trigger, because then you just counter that trigger there. And it's like your rock does nothing. That's really bad. They played around Spell Pierce perfectly here. I am gonna Spell Pierce the Explore, though. Yeah, our opponent knows what they're doing. If you play Amulet Titan, you kind of like have to know. We still might be able to get them to. Not. I guess I'll take Lauren Reveal just because it's a blue card to pitch to Subtlety. Because there's no way they're not gonna try and go for it when we're tapped out, right? If they play Summoner's Pack though and don't have enough mana to pay for it, then they just lose, which is really funny. But I feel like that's not going to happen. I hope they Summoner's Pact here for a Dryad. Nope. Okay, just they don't have a way to play Primeval Titan yet. That's cool. That's super good for us. Okay. I'm not too concerned about the Dryad right now. If we draw a Mutavault, we can just kill that and something else. And they got two amulets, so there's no point in just like killing one. Okay. Are you pacting? Or are you just playing the Titan out raw? Okay. They're doing something. I mean, their hand is one land and a mystery card, and the mystery card has to be Titan. It just has to be. Teleria West for Summoner's Pact. Okay, that's fine. Cast your Summoner's Pact. This gives us like 2 turns to potentially draw something. Wait. Oh no, they had a ring. Right, they put the Teleria West in their hand. Right. Well, that's really bad for us. Because the One Ring is just going to draw them an absurd amount of cards. We need a Tide Binder to kill that, but then if we're Tide Bindering that, then they can just play Primeval Titan. Um, all bad things. All very bad things. I would have almost preferred that they just played a Primeval Titan. Um, all very bad things for us. Subtlety's cool. It's cool that we get to go into subtlety, but they have so many draws off this One Ring that they're probably just going to find a Valakut. It's not impossible to win here. We could draw a Tidebinder. Um and we do have two subtleties, which is neat. And they got two Urza Sagas. Yikes. I mean we do got Dress Down, so that's cool. 3 steps ahead. We can use this to copy subtlety. Oh no, we can just theoretically we can just tempo them out here. Murktide, no thank you. I will keep this bolt, actually. Because I think we might actually just be able to tempo them out here. I know this is greedy and insane. Like, this is actually insane, but I'm gonna try it. I think I think we might actually be able to just race them. Especially with this ring killing them. Um is not impossible. Okay. Draw your cards. There's Valakut. Ugh. That's so That's so annoying. Well, now we can't race them. Now it's impossible. Because they can just play another. Mhm. Now I don't think there's a chance. Man. Well, they played perfectly around the Spell Pierce. I think it was still correct to Spell Pierce the Explore. Let me think. They take 3. And another One Ring. I have to counter that. They take 3 from that. We're gonna have to subtlety Primeval Titan here. Because 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Man, they have it all. I guess that's the thing about the One Ring is it just draws you literally everything you need. We experienced that yesterday when we were playing Esper Control. Easily the best card in the deck. Like, wasn't even close. Okay, they're gonna Summoner's Pact. Arboreal Grazer. Yeah. I'm playing this out because I want to see more of what they do. Okay, no, we're just dead now. There's no sequence we can do that kills them here. It's just too much value. So discouraging. I still think it's possible to at least 4-0. We're going to need to play really well, though. Taking out... Actually, I'm going to keep Spell Pierce. I think it's better on the play. I'm going to take out the bolts. Going to keep in Flame Slash. Going to bring in a Null. Because it counters Dryad and the Ring and Amulet. Keeping in Dress down. It's really good against them. Taking out one Preordain. Just because I feel like the things we're preordaining for are better. So it just makes sense to have more of those things than just like a random preordain. This I will keep. We can Flame Slash a Dryad. We can play Blood Moon. We have Lauren revealed to get us more blue mana, which is good. Blood Moon will take care of Urza Sagas if they play any Urza Sagas. It's not a super good hand. You know, Snapcaster Mage is kind of anemic here, and the Flame Slash isn't gonna do much until like they play a Dryad. But I think it'll be okay. Of note, like if this was an Unholy Heat or a Galvanic Discharge, that also really wouldn't be doing much against Dryad. Do. Okay. It's Thundering Falls. Get rid of that land. Okay, counterspell. We definitely want to get an island with Scalding Tarn here, so we're not just completely locked out by our Blood Moon. If they play Urza Saga here, I'll be so happy. Nope, they're gonna Besage you. Defense Grid, no. At least if they Besage you Blood Moon, we get another island. Which will be good for Snappy Boy. They're probably going to play their bounce land and then Besage you so that they can do stuff. There's Amulets. Defense Grid, sure. That's really annoying. But here is Murktide Regent. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if they just Besage you here and then go off. Amulet, sure. I guess I'm bringing in Brotherhood's End against them, because this is ridiculous. Like, that is a ridiculous amount of artifacts. Still, they need a way to kill Blood Moon. Okay, playing Snapcaster Mage here. Because Bolt Snap Bolt just kills them. Okay, this costs 2 more. No, 3 more. If it costs 3 more and they Besage you, we can still counter something. It's everyone's favorite, the One Ring. Cool. Huh? Okay, we need to hit a land drop. They're dead on board. Uh-huh. They're gonna be dead next turn unless they can combo off. Okay, cool. Now we can counter something. Don't know if that's gonna be enough. We can counter another One Ring through Defense Grid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they're bringing in Defense Grid, I'm bringing in my forces, because that's ridiculous. Okay. Bring in these forces. Take out Spell Pierce. Um, take out one more Preordain. Keep Brotherhood's End. Take out a Flame Slash, honestly. Because it's going to be way more important to kill their artifacts if their game plan is just like, you cannot cast counter spells. Or flash spells. We got very lucky there drawing the land, and them also bricking off of, what's it called? I don't trust that we can draw enough lands. I'm going to mull that. This I can work with. This I can absolutely work with. I'm getting ready to dress down. We kind of got Blood Moon to take care of. We got Blood Moon to take care of Urza Saga. I think we can beat a couple of Karn Struck tokens. This isn't like with Affinity or Hardened Scales where those are just like absolute beaters. Gun bottom of the land. If they play Defense Grid here, I'm going to be so salty. Okay, just Generosant. This is fine. They get Basic Forest, which is fine. They had Basic Forest last game too, and we didn't get Besaged. We could still get Besaged this game, but like, it's fine. Okay, they put Valakut back. Counterspell here would be really nice. Preordain. I'm just gonna do this now. We hit a null. This is good. This is really good. Because we can counter most things that we care about them doing next turn with a null. Yep, like this shirtless fucker. Goodbye. Play Blood Moon. And now we can start Flame of Anoring to draw more cards. Defense Grid. I guess we're just killing that. Yeah, we're just gonna kill that. No, thank you. Which is kind of the point. That's like a spell skite for them. Now if they go land here, One Ring, we are dead. Yep. Yeah, because we can't take care of that unless we draw Tidebinder. Yep. That is really sad, honestly. Now I'm sure they can find another forest. There's Dryad. Not gonna subtlety that. There's no point. They have so much card draw that they can just like put it back into their hand. I'd rather save this for Primeval Titan. We need like an island here. That does nothing. And looks like we're gonna 3. We're gonna 3-2 this deck, which is fine. It's more or less what I expected. Because blue-red's fine now. It's definitely better than it has been, but like still not good enough. The Esper deck was definitely better. I mean, we could still maybe get lucky here. They're taking a lot of damage from their ring. Yeah, cool. Like, sure. And they can't easily like pay. They can't pay for Pact and then do. Okay. Now there's a chance because we could draw Flame of Anor. Yeah, now there's actually a chance because we stopped them from drawing 3 here, which is pretty lucrative. If they play, they still have to like pay for Summoner's Pact, which means, oh, never mind, Dryad's out. They can just do that. Now I don't see a way. Now I don't see a way. Yeah, cool. Yeah, they played Dryad after the Blood Moon, so super fun time. Put that on top. We could like, what, they even attack? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Okay. Draw 2, deal 5. Doesn't matter because they still played their 2 forests, so they can just play Primeval Titan again. Like, Primeval Titan doesn't do anything because of the Blood Moon, but man, like yeah, they just got it all. I guess they don't have the Beseiju, but still, this is bad news for us. We could think could draw another Flame of Anor, I guess. Snapcaster Flame doesn't do it. Yeah, there's just no shot. There's no shot. Okay. Well, that was a 3-2 with this deck. I liked 3 steps ahead, but aptly named, it only really seemed good while we were ahead. And what I think invert polarity is gonna do that will make it better than cards like 3 steps ahead, cards like Cryptic Command, cards like Archmage's Charm. I think what invert polarity will do that the blue-red deck really needs, like decks like this really need, is it'll be a counterspell that allows you to come back from when you're behind in a meaningful way, at least half of the time, right? Because there were multiple situations against like Amulet Titan and against both of the Jund decks really, where just they're trying to like nickel and dime us with these incredibly powerful magic cards because things are so swingy now. Things that just generate massive amounts of value all on their own. Stuff like Bowmasters, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Primeval Titan is another big one. Um, Things that just generate so much value, really. And when you're behind, you really need something to be like, no, like we are now even or we are ahead now. And three steps ahead doesn't really do that because it's just a cancel with like no potential upside when you're behind. When you're ahead, it is fucking backbreaking, just like Cryptic Command is. But unlike Cryptic Command, it doesn't like stall long enough when you're behind to eventually like weasel your way out. The way Cryptic Command stalled with like tapping, drawing a card, that doesn't really work as much anymore because a lot of times people don't really win through combat anymore. Like they still win by beating you up, but like they win through like incremental advantage, right? Like every deck is kind of like an incremental advantage deck, and then you just have cards like the One Ring that like blow the advantage out of the door, right? So you need something to kind of like reverse things in your favor. What I'm thinking of is we're kind of like we're heavy on the first of all, I love the two Murktides. I thought the two Murktides were great. Um Probably still playing Murktide. Maybe that's not correct though. Maybe you just need to like play Tamiyo. Like have like a Ragavan style thing going on where you like play Tamiyo, like get rid of the dress downs, move them to the sideboard. Play four Tamiyo, four Mishra's Bauble, right? So that you can do the cool combo thing with Tamiyo. And with invert polarity, you just replace the three steps ahead. Maybe go down like one Tidebinder. Because I feel like with Tidebinder, it's really backbreaking like the one time you like get your opponent with it. And when you're behind, like we saw with the Jund matchup, Tidebinder really doesn't do anything, but it can slam the door if you're like ahead or at parity. So Tamio feels like the way going forward. Take out these spell pierces. These spell pierces were not good. Um, they just weren't. And like put some Mishra Baubles in. Maybe go down to 20 lands if you're playing Mishra's Bauble, and make these invert polarity. You have your Tamio out. People will be incentivized to kill it if you're on the play, kind of like with Ragavan. Otherwise, she'll just generate stupid amounts of advantage. A lot of the time, she won't even live, but that'll be fine because she'll like bridge you into the turns where you can start casting your Flame of Anors, Tidebinders, Snapcaster Mages, Invert Polarity, and maybe even hard casting Subtlety. Because with Murktide, there were a lot of times where it's like, I do like Murktide. It was good at closing out the game, but two mana is just like a hard commitment. And even when I was ahead, I'm like, do I want to play this Murktide or do I want to like hold up my Subtlety? And most of the time, the answer was just hold up Subtlety. Hey, Fresh Glass. Happy to see you. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, that's more or less what I'm thinking. We 3-2'd with it, and we 3-2'd with it because this deck really doesn't, without Flame of Anor, there really isn't a way to like kind of like catch up when you're behind. And if you really are behind, most of the time you probably don't have a wizard in play anyway. So even then Flame of Anor is just kind of like a bad Archmage's Charm in a lot of cases. Or it's just like not even a bad Archmage's Charm, it's like equal level with Archmage's Charm. So what the blue-red deck needs and what I'm going to try to remember with deck building going forward once Modern Horizons 3 drops is you need a way to pull ahead when you're behind. Like really, really far ahead. And, for the Esper control deck that we saw, that was the One Ring. Stupidly good at pulling ahead. And for this, I do feel like it's going to be invert polarity. I think I might even run. I think I might even run four. I might even run four when the time comes. Because, like, obviously, you're not going to use invert polarity on removal spells unless your opponent also has something. Then it's just hilarious. Um, but if you got like your Tameo or your Snapcaster Mage or your Tidebinders, and they cast a removal spell, and they don't have a creature, so you don't feel like as incentivized to cast invert polarity, you just kind of let the creature die, right? You just let them die, and then they're like, oh shit, they let that die. Maybe they don't have it, and then they go play their threat, and then you cast invert polarity. What about an offer you can't refuse? You see, that's a good counter spell. I typically like that more in like the combo style blue red decks that are running like Underworld Breach because it can net you mana, but that doesn't solve the problem that the deck has, right? Like an offer you can't refuse doesn't pull you ahead. It protects the creatures you already have. And what I think a good control deck really needs to be good is you can start out behind against the mid-range decks or against any deck, and you'll just have one card that you play that's just like, oh, things are completely different now. And that used to be cards like Jace the Mind Sculptor for control decks. But now it's the One Ring for blue white. And invoke polarity, I think, is going to be it for. No, invert polarity. Let me pull it up, because some people might not know what this card does because they might not have been checking the spoilers. But this card, right here. Um, so invert polarity. It's coming out in a couple of days. Choose target spell, then flip a coin. If you win the flip, gain control of target spell, and you may choose new targets for it. If you lose the flip, counter that spell. First of all, I'd just like to say I think this card is like horribly designed. Like straight up, it should have just been an energy card. It should have just been, instead of flipping a coin, it's like you may pay like 5 energy. If you do, you gain control of the spell. If you don't, you just counter it. Because like the blue red energy archetype is already there in Modern Horizons. But WotC is doing the thing they always like to do, where they're like, let's create fun gamer moments for the gamers. Isn't flipping coins fun? You can like tell stories about this during your EDH games. It's really cringe. It's really fucking cringe, and leads to unfun scenarios that are just too random. Like there's an element of randomness in Magic with like drawing your cards and like gain mana screwed and stuff like that. But this is just like flip a coin. Heads I win. Tails I don't die, but like I stop you from doing the thing. So this is very similar to cards like Archmage's Charm, Offer You Can't Refuse. No, not Offer You Can't Refuse. 3 Steps Ahead, where it's like, I'm a cancel with upside. Except the upside of this is if you sequence things properly and don't just like cast it on a spell that you wouldn't want to copy, then you win the game. Because if you steal a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, now your Rakdos scam opponent is on the fucking back foot. If you steal a Grief, suddenly the advantage bar slides all the way. And it's really swingy. It doesn't generate as much raw card advantage as the One Ring, but it comes down a turn earlier than the One Ring. It's instant speed. It's a lot harder to play around because we also have Flame of Anor and Tishana's Tidebender and Counterspell and Snapcaster Mage and all these other things that we can do at 3 mana. So your opponent's going to have to be like, fuck, can I risk them having invert polarity and me losing the coin flip? is that a thing I can do? And then they try baiting you out, and if you're a good control player, you don't take the fucking bait. And then they're like, okay, I guess they don't have anything because I'm so smart and I baited them out and they didn't play it, so clearly they don't have any. And then they get caught by this. So it kind of like it's going to lead to a lot of unfun interactions. It's going to lead to people swearing at you in Moto. It's going to lead to like, oh, I would have won if you didn't win the coin flip. And it's like, this is just Magic now, which is ass and it sucks because this is so close to being like a well-designed card. They just need to make it energy instead of coin flipping, right? That's all they need to do. But as it stands, this is the card we got, and it's, other than Flame of Anor, probably one of the best cards for blue-red control they've ever printed, because like Flame of Anor, it helps solve the issue of you gain ahead as long as you have a wizard. This, you don't even need the wizard. You just need to win a coin flip, which there's a chance that'll happen. There's a chance it won't, but it's better than Electrolyze. It's better than Jace the Mind Sculptor. It's not better than the One Ring, because the One Ring's colorless and can go into like a Jamillion decks. But it is, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if it's better than Flame of Anor. Gonna have to see. Countering their bombs with this is gonna be so tense. And while I don't agree with it design wise, and I've been thinking about design a lot now that I like actually make video games and have to like think about game design in my free time. While it's not well designed, it is powerful. It is the best card. Ral likes to flip coins. That's true, but Ral goes in the Storm deck. Oh, do you mean the original Ral? Because the new Ral and the original like to as well. And that's tied to an ultimate, right? So, that's fair. That's kind of like where it started with, like, right? Where it's like, ooh, ultimate, flip coins. Who knows what'll happen? Oh, for like flavor in the general story. Well, yeah, but and that is flavorful, but it also makes sense for Ral to be like okay with energy because he literally works for the Izzet Guild. And there's other Izzet cards in Modern Horizons 3, specifically one that like has Izzet in the title, I think. I think it's the Signpost Uncommon that literally deals with energy. So it's like it was right there. And the Ral they printed for Modern Horizons also already flips coins. Yeah. It's just I get it, but like Rao can also do like the energy stuff as well. So I don't know. Would have I feel like it would have been flavorful either way. Yeah, it is. It's I love the Izzet Guild because they're basically just like, what if like all the service maintenance people were like, okay, that was a good day fixing water coolers and like making sure the infrastructure of the city is okay. What do we do now? I know. Let's fuck around. We have like 2 hours. Let's try and make something fucking weird, and maybe we can use it to make the city better. Maybe. No, I like that the Izzet Guild's blue because like they're curious, right? Like you can be mono red and just like not really be curious or thoughtful about what's gonna happen next. I think the blue fits for Izzet. Um, because they're very curious motherfuckers, and they're willing to try anything and everything it takes to get like a result, even if it means failing over and over again. More than like the Azorius and like the other blue guilds, like the Demir will be like failure is not an option. Like the Azorius will be like, we can't possibly fail because the law must be perfect. The Izzet are like, hey, the more I fail and the faster I fail, the quicker I get to like figuring out what actually works. And that is like, that's very healthy, I feel, is being like, it's okay to fail and it's okay to try new things because you're going to figure out what works better and you're going to improve like a lot quicker. I love Gruul. I wish they leaned more into the anarchy and punk rock flavor of the Gruul a bit more. Um, it makes sense that the anarchists would be Gruul because anarchy is like an inherently short-sighted philosophy where it's like, we did it, we destroyed everything, now what? I guess hope fascism doesn't crop up. um, it's which is such like a green red thing, right? But no, it's a lot of fun. I love the guilds. I love Ravnica. This card's extremely cool. It's gonna help this archetype a lot. I just need to figure out how to fit it and Tameo into the deck. Um, and maybe Harbinger of the Seas or Tides or whatever it's called, the Blue Moon Merfolk right here in this slot. Um, Definitely not main deck unless Eldrazi Winter is really that bad, or Eldrazi Summer, in which case might take out the Tide Binders, and put in Merfolk Dude instead. But I think that's it for me today. Um, I like this deck. It just needs a way to pull ahead. And I think Expressive Iteration was that in like some of the other builds, because it draws your cards. Whoa. You know, it's sorcery speed, but draws your cards. You're gonna draw something good, boyo. Um, so that might be the way to go. With expressive iteration. I'll probably try an expressive iteration build again when I stream tomorrow. But these 3 steps ahead, card did fine when we were at parity or ahead, but really feel like invert polarity is gonna do work. And Tameo, because Tameo's fucking stupid. And that card is basically expansion explosion. Nah, you need too much mana for that, right? I like expansion explosion. What time am I streaming tomorrow? Probably 8:30. 8:30 at night Eastern time. Expansion Explosion is a fun card, and I did play it a bunch when it came out. But what I found was it just took too much mana to really be good. And there were times where I top decked it and I only had like 4 mana. I'm like, this is not really feeling it, Mr. Krabs. But yeah, that's it from me. I will see you guys all in the future. Remember to wishlist my game if you want to support the stream. Links down in the description. And until then, stay cool, everybody. Have a good night.